Welcome back to another episode of Open Window with Pan and Jess. And today we wanted to talk about still ongoing show. I think they're on like episode 16 on the time of this upload, probably 17, I believe. Like, should be sometime this week that the next episode drops, I think. Episode 17. And we wanted to talk about Frieren, one of the most popular shows this season. Not as popular as the big shonen hitters like JJK or Demon Slayer or even Oshinoko. Is it a shonen? Is Oshinoko a shonen? I don't even I
I
don't even
think
fucking know.
so.
If it's a
What the?
seinen, it's a popular seinen. I don't care. For anime, it doesn't really matter. Frieren. For those who clicked on it, you don't know anything about the show. Maybe you heard of it, you haven't watched it. Maybe you're interested. Okay, spoiler warnings. We will later, and we will warn again, talk about story character related stuff. So, but we, as always with these videos, start with a short synopsis, what the story is about, what you can expect, and after that, if you're interested, click off this video, watch the anime, okay, without being spoiled. And if you already know about it, feel free to stay. We talk about what we like about it, what we might dislike, and some predictions of where the story is gonna go, and also in regards to some Crunchyroll Award stuff coming up. Yeah, we're also going to talk about that later on.
So Frieren is of course is a fantasy anime, and what we were talking about before we started is that a lot of fantasy anime are usually like tied with isekai. I think it's gotten to the point too where when a lot of fantasy anime come out, people just automatically assume it's an isekai, or they just kind of like see it as an isekai.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Frieren is like does very well, to like really just stand out and actually just create a good world of like this is fantasy, like this is what the genre is supposed to be about. Is very like top tier when it comes to it. Main character, of course, is Frieren. The story starts out as like the heroes' party finally defeated the Demon King, and we're kind of seeing like the aftermath of what happened with that. Of course, Frieren the main character. We kind of see the world through her eyes. Of course, the characters around her do get their time to shine. We see about their backstories and stuff like that, but she is the main pusher of the story. And we're just and like she's an elf. She lives for a very, very long time, of course, like probably like the longest living race compared to like humans and like dwarfs and things like
Mm-hmm.
that. Because this, is a very big fantasy world. And this first season up to the point, I think is 16 episodes out right now. And then the second part of this season's coming out very, very soon, actually in January. But it was a lot. There's a lot of world building. There's some good fights in there and stuff like that, of course. But there's a lot of world building. But it looks very, very pretty. The music is good. I feel like the opening is good. I've really, there's not a lot to, I guess, like see as bad when it comes to the show. So at least so far. So definitely, like, recommended to watch. I would get into more, the nitty gritty and like what we think about it being considered like anime of the year and things like that a little bit later. But that's just like the general, synopsis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of difficult to really pinpoint the exact thing that this show is about, because I mean your main character is an elf that lives for thousands of years, and Frieren is one of the younger elves, right? Like she still looks very young compared to others of her race, and she is already 1,000 plus years old, I believe. So this show is more chill, right? Anything can happen, really. You can have like one episode can be action focused, the other one is very, I don't know, very chill, as I said, very quiet, just some nice character interaction. An entire episode can just be about some like them going shopping and buying gifts for someone's birthday, right? But
Yeah.
the show just makes it work. So if you're interested in some good animation, some action, like paired with, and that is probably the majority of it, paired with more relaxing moments, slice of life type of shows, and a fantasy world that is really well written, well put together. Frieren might be the thing for you, right? And it's
Absolutely.
animated by Madhouse. Those who know, Madhouse has been a big anime studio for forever now.
Wow. No.
They
Yeah.
did kind of fall off in recent times, but also they kind of came back. It's almost like a 50-50 if their shows come out good or not. Frieren is definitely one of the highlights, one of the best shows they got, in my opinion. So check it out. But with this spoiler warning, once again, now we get to more concrete stuff. We just want to to warn you, go watch it, and if you want, come back after you finish, whatever. Like without having the isekai shit going on, it kind of works as a strength in a way, because isekais always have like isekais need to always have some like good isekais, okay, have to have some connection to the real world, so you spend more time on that, and the fantasy world doesn't get developed enough, and sometimes the main character is gets too much focus, and that's it. I think Frieren, as just a pure fantasy, uh, is able to pull something off that those isekais can't, and that is just focus on the world without having to look at other stuff at the meantime at the same time. So you have a magic system that just works, right? It's not overly complicated, but it's just well put together, makes sense, and you have characters living in the different races. They all interact. They all have history, lore, uh, connections going on, right? Like the world feels like it's breathing. And I saw like recently some YouTube video on the fantasy genre, right? And the guy said that Frieren revived the genre. I don't know if that is like an exaggeration, or
Mm,
if it is actually the thing. But I mean, you gotta admit, like all these seasons, right? Like pure fantasy shows. I don't think there were that many, barely anything. Like if you see fantasy, as you said before, expect the isekai tag right next to it. And I mean, with how most isekais are, you can expect this show to be bad. Like no focus on the world, no focus on the fantasy. You have the same fucking town, right? As within in every isekai, they don't care about the world enough to make it unique, um, or unique to their own world. But this is something that I feel like Frieren does very well, and I gotta give it to them. So maybe they did revive it in a way. I hope it lasts. I need to see more shows like this come out. I heard this is a manga, right? Is it?
yeah, it should be for sure.
Yeah, I might check it out after after season one ends, because the way season one is going, I already gave it a 10. I don't give a fuck. Uh, I need to. I don't think I can wait for a season two. And
I feel it.
I expect the season two, to be honest. The way like its popularity
Absolutely.
skyrocketed, yeah, I expect a season two for sure.
Okay, I'm trying to see like what other fantasy anime that that's strictly fantasy. Of course, like the best comparison I can give this show is probably Mashoko Tensei. That's like just as popular because of course Mashoko Tensei is very very popular. They have
Mm-hmm.
really great world building as well. But it is an isekai, obviously. You might tend to forget because we're kind of coming up very long into the story, but it is an isekai at its core. And I don't know any other like maybe like at least as popular shows that have come out that's strictly fantasy that is as good. Even things that like slimes, like
I mean, it's
those are
still an
they're all
isekai.
isekai. Yeah, they're all isekai.
I,
So I can't even, I
of
don't know.
course, isekai and fantasy don't exclude each other. Like they can, as we've seen with Mushoku Tensei, work together, right? If the author knows what they are doing.
Yeah.
For pure fantasy, I guess Made in Abyss comes to mind, because I mean that
Okay.
would count as a fantasy, right? They got mythical creatures, some monsters, not just humans, right? Like it's definitely not uh, comparable to our world. But even that, I would need to look into Made in
Oh,
Abyss more to see if the world building is good.
the closest one I'll say is Ranking of Kings. That was strictly
True,
fantasy.
true.
Ranking of Kings was very, very, very good.
See, and we made a video on Ranking of Kings. Okay, scroll down very far on this channel to check it out. We don't have playlists. Paulo's lazy ass. But no, yeah, Ranking of Kings, pure fantasy, and we liked it, right? Taco liked it too. I feel like Taco might even like Frieren if he had the time to watch. But yeah, now that you remind me of it, fantasy shows, we just like him apparently, right? Like we just wanna we just wanna get more
I think
what
because
more of
they
those.
have a lot, they would definitely have a lot more charm to them, and like, even
Mm-hmm.
of course, we included with the world building. All the characters in Frieren, from Stark to Fern, even to like some of like the maybe like the one-off characters, at least so far that we've seen like recently, they introduced not well, he's not a one-off with Sign, but like his
Mm-hmm.
when like they got trapped in a snowstorm and there was like that elf guy that like kind of took them in, and they were like they had a whole episode of him like conversing with them, and then like it turns out like he's like a famous hero, and he has
Mm-hmm.
a statue made of him, and like even like how they tie things together, and like it doesn't click until like they kind of bring it about, and this
Yeah,
makes every character be highlighted and gives them a purpose to be in the show, and they're not just some throwaway character. And I think that's it's just place to their strengths. Like they don't really forget about anybody. Everyone has a part to play.
exactly.
With the backstories, with why people make certain choices as they grow. Even like with Stark, of course, being raised by Eisen, and how like you see the influence with every single time. And even with Fern, and how like she of course was raised by Heather, but then like now she's being raised by Frieren as well as like a mage, and like she kind of you kind of see the influence from him, and then of course he's passed away, and now we see how she's acting behind Frieren, even how Stark and Fern act towards each other, like the budding romance coming about, and how they're kind of like filling each other out, and they're very very new to this, and it's like they're still at its core they're kids.
Mm-hmm.
Um, all the characters are just very very well done in my opinion, and I can't really even critique anyone. I don't feel like anyone's like not supposed to be there. Even like with Sign, like at first I didn't think that he was gonna be like a good addition to the group, I guess. But like even like
Same.
the couple episodes he's been in, is he's honestly like I won't say he's stolen the show, but
Mm-hmm.
he's played a very big part with just with like the I guess like the communication skills
Yeah.
between everybody inside the group, and just giving a new perspective. And he's like a priest as well. Even like those things like priests, mages, warriors, how like their I guess classes or the things that they do for like their entire livelihoods affects their personalities and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like we met the old man dwarf. I think this well not this last episode, maybe 2 episodes ago, on how he was like protecting that town to with his wife, like because his wife was coming from him and stuff like that. Even like small parts like that as well. I think that's what they do for a lot of their episodes. If it's not like a major fight one, is that they kind of split it in half. And I feel like probably if you look at the manga, maybe they're taking like one manga chapter, making it the first half, and taking the other, making the second half.
Mm-hmm.
But and it works. Like it doesn't feel like it's too packed into the episode.
Yeah.
I feel like the pacing is. That's another thing is, well, the pacing is very, very good as well too. It might seem kind of slow sometimes, and that was my issue. Not my issue, but like that was my thing at first. But like this is supposed to be like a slow burn, world building, like as Ansha Mashoko Tensei, where like
Yeah.
and you're not gonna get all the fights and all the hype and like high octane moments right now. They're gonna build up to it. So when those do happen, it means a lot more, and there's like a lot more intent behind it. And then they're not just like just flashing animation, which is not wrong. It's not a bad thing. Some shows they benefit from that. But this show does definitely has a good pacing as well.
Yeah. With Sign, as you said, like I was a bit cautious at first, right? Like, would he be a good addition or not? The way he was, not necessarily portrayed as a whole, but parts of him, I was hoping he would not be some like pervert Sanji type of character, right? Because he was in a party with two girls. Luckily, he's just an adult, right? He's chill. He likes older women, and that's about it. Like
Yeah.
it's not his whole personality. He is a very, um, not necessarily very, but he's more reserved, right? Like he keeps stuff to himself, but he also jumps into action if need be. Like the first
Hmm.
episode where they went on the adventure, like where he left with the party, all of them fell asleep. He put in the work, right? Like he already trusts in his party right off the get go, because he's just like that. So the characters, I don't think, even like the, as you said, one offs, not bad. They also kind of come back. This is something that the show does really well. Keeping everything relevant, and I mentioned this a lot when shows do that well. Even mentioned it during the RDC comic review that we did, and that is the show don't tell principle. This
Hmm.
show is like a prime example of how you do it. The first episode, like not even like far in, when the 50-year time skip happens, before they even said that the time skip happened, right? Like that's a big one. They show like the shopkeeper. It's a young man, okay? She's going there to buy something, whatever. Then some scenes pass, and then you see the same shop, and the shopkeeper looks like an old man now, right? While Frieren still looks the same. So I was like, I had to go back a few seconds to really, double check. Yeah, he got older. The same shopkeeper, the same shop. So I instantly knew, okay, the show doesn't tell me that outright in that moment, but I, as a viewer, already know a time skip has happened. And other instances of something similar happen throughout the entire show. Something that is not pointed out to you by the narrator. Is it even? I don't think they got a narrator. Do they? I don't think
I
so.
don't think
Maybe
so.
just like some text on the screen. But characters don't always state everything. They don't just blurt out exposition just like that. So it's always just, you look at stuff, you figure it out while watching. Maybe you have to go back a couple seconds or minutes like I did to, catch everything, and you will see even more of what the show has to offer. And that is, I think, something that really works for the whole, you know, figuring stuff out fantasy genre. You are thrown into this world. You, as a viewer, also want to see what this world is all about, check it all out, and the way everything is connected, everything makes sense and is relevant. That way, no character is really uninteresting. I feel like every character so far was not necessarily likable. Like the villains are still very evil,
Yeah,
like the
like
demon
Aura. Yeah,
races. Um, but it kind of makes sense, right? Like you, uh, it's written well. I feel like that. Like this is the thing generally that I wanted to say. And pacing wise, in a way, and I agree with you, right? Like the show is pretty slow at times, but I
hmm
felt like it kind of made sense, and it worked because of the story and themes itself. I feel
yeah.
like
Sure.
Frieren lives her life, like since she's so old, 10 years adventure, right? Like that's nothing to her, right? While humans, for them, 10 years is crazy long. Like like Himmel and his crew, their like party, they got to know each other. While Frieren in those 10 years didn't really learn anything about them, and that is why she cried. Like the basically the only time she really cries, and it is definitely heartbreaking, right? Like these people, you technically don't know them that long in compared to your whole life, but they still left an impact. And then you have in the first episode, she leaves for 50 years, which is wild. She comes back, and everyone she knew is already old, is about to die very soon.
hmm
And she still doesn't really think about it because, yeah, humans don't live as long as elves, right? But she just leaves for 50 years. Nothing really happens in her life for those 50 years. Just like almost wasted. Because, the way she is, nothing really happens, okay, usually. But then when she comes in contact with other humans again, so Fern, Stark, and later on Sign, those are humans. So they don't have that much time to live. They don't want to stay in a town for a couple years. They
Yeah,
want to stay there for maybe a week tops. And that way, Frieren experiences more in a short amount of time. So she isn't just chilling in one village for 10, 20, 30 years just for some, I don't know, to find some herbs or whatever, to find a flower. No, she has to move around, she has to experience more, and the little moments in life start to gain more meaning. So the slower pacing kind of makes sense. Like you really like new village, one episode maybe per village, maybe 2 or 3 episodes for one story part, just because you take your time to really look at it, and you know so after you leave, it left a big impact on you. It's not just that you go from place to place to place, you rush through it, whatever. Yuck, you really you know the pacing. I don't know. The pacing kind of makes sense story wise. I feel like
it
hopefully,
does.
yeah, hopefully I explained it well enough. I feel like even when you watch it, you also see it, like the whole, like she says, yeah, I wish I learned more about Himmel, like after he dies. Like I wish
Yeah,
I wish I didn't waste my time. Like I didn't, why did she even leave? Just to find some item, just to find some new magic spells. 50 years.
something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she could have just went on a search almost, or did something with her party, right? Like, but she didn't. Now her mindset is different. Now she is in a party again, and they don't let her. do whatever she wants. Like they make it clear, yeah, we gotta do this now, faster, faster, quick. We cannot waste time as you did. Okay, and when we do something, then we do it thoroughly and quickly at the same time. Yeah, I guess it makes sense. Yeah, so slower pace is not a bad thing here. I wouldn't say.
It's not. It definitely plays into the theme. Of course, with all the not just even with Frieren, but all the characters kind of like just learning how to just like take their time and appreciate things because Frieren does very often like she's like you said like oh we can just stay here for a couple of years because for her it literally doesn't mean anything.
Mm-hmm.
And like even like post death from Himmel and Heather and like Eisen's probably on the way out too very very soon.
Mm-hmm.
She's now kind of looking back and like making sure like their legacies live on and actually caring about a lot of stuff. Even with this most recent episode when she lost the I think it was like a bracelet that Himmel gave to her, and she didn't care at first until she got it back, and then she had this like I think she had like, and then I think she remembered like when like he gave it to her and stuff like that, and she had a whole moment with it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like even like now like as like the episodes are going on, she's still just learning how to appreciate and what these like little like things like to her it kind of seems like a little like in the speck in time like okay who cares but like for him or for these people like who are now gone when they were still alive it meant a lot to them even if it didn't for her so her just kind of continuing the legacy and making sure like she keeps telling their stories even after she passed even when she was having a conversation with the old man the guy that was protecting the city and she was telling him like I'm gonna make sure like your legacy lives on I'm gonna tell you like
Yeah.
tell your stories and stuff like that and like the very next day I think he had a dream about his late wife and just like had this is the small moments like that that really tie the show together and I think the overarching thing of course we're not done with this show yet so like the theme and the message is not I guess complete for sure it works with everything with the characters the pacing just everything. Animation is beautiful. We said before, but it that goes to be expected. Like, I feel like any show that's rated highly nowadays kind of has to have good animation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Music is very very good as well, and definitely I can for sure see it being an anime of the year contender. After watching Pluto, when we did a video on Pluto, which is like a couple videos down, we were like, "Oh, this is for the same thing with that anime of the year contender." But this really is another anime of the year contender. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, right alongside things like JJK, of course,
It's so
even
difficult to
Vinland Saga.
choose, though, man.
Very very hard to choose. A lot. There's a lot that came out this year. I was like, in terms of like contenders, it's probably like at least like 5 to 6 like true contenders. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like,
Yeah.
but Freeman definitely up there. Definitely up there.
Fuck. Like popularity wise, we all know that JJK is on top right now, and as I said, for good reason. I'm not even hating. I love JJK season two. Very very well done. No, don't want to downplay. But like when the Crunchyroll Awards were to come out, I without watching Frieren or Pluto, I would have just said, Vinland Saga got my vote because Vinland Saga season two also went crazy. But then we
Hmm.
watched Pluto, and I became unsure. Okay, Pluto, the mystery in it was very very well done, very clean. Okay, very good ending. Also a lot of plots coming together, just very very interesting watch. And then I'm like, okay, I'm kind of unsure. I'm a torn even. And then I watch Frieren, and now I don't know anything, man. If the anime keeps up or gets better, and they don't drop the ball, and I don't think they will, right? Um, it's gonna be difficult to pick at least. I still expect kind of JJK to win. I do,
Me
but
too.
but that's just coming from popularity. Since there is gonna be a jury of people, and they will be like their picks or whatever they think will be combined with the popularity votes, the votes from the fans. Uh, JJK doesn't have a safe win. I feel like it's not as safe as with something like Demon Slayer season one back in the day, when
Yeah.
Demon Slayer really overshadowed everything, or
Um,
Cyberpunk Edge Runners. I don't think that this is this type of situation. Maybe I don't know. No, I don't think so. JJK is very strong, but that's I mean on TikTok I see a lot of JJK shit. That's my algorithm. But when I go to different sites, I see a lot of Vinland Saga Frieren type of shit, like talks. Pluto not so much, so I don't think Pluto will win. Just cause The
Popularity, I feel
popularity
like.
is a big factor here. Yeah,
I
Pluto
feel
is
it.
very well done, but it's not popular enough, sadly. Oceano got a chance, I guess, but
Pachinko was very, very good. Yeah, that first
yeah.
episode took the world by storm. I felt like,
hmm But
but we'll
overall,
definitely
yeah,
see what happens. Yeah, I
yeah.
think the thing with JJK too is like definitely like I think a lot not people have forgot about Villain Saga, but recency bias does play a part.
hmm
But like you said, like it's not only fan voting, so we'll definitely see. I think because JJK is gonna win a lot of other stuff, like when it probably comes to like best fights and like even probably like I don't know, maybe not best protagonist. I don't know. But like they will like JJK is gonna win a lot of other awards, and it'd be kind of cool to see like give Anime of the Year to something that's like
Yeah.
that kind of came out of nowhere and people didn't really expect to be good. Because we know JJK is gonna be good, and not to say like it shouldn't win because of that reason, but like for something to come out like Frieren or even like Oshinoko that they do very very well, and they kind of like people would like you usually don't even take these shows serious, like especially with Oshinoko that was about like idols and like the like that kind of world when it comes to like Hollywood and stuff
hmm
like that. People don't usually give that stuff a try, but that first episode was so well done and was so good. It was such a long episode too. It was like an hour long or whatever it
Yeah.
was. People usually don't even give that stuff a try for like when just talking about Oshinoko. So I feel like if a show comes on and does something like that, it's kind of like like really can't be replicated in a sense. I feel like they should definitely get their flowers for sure.
Yeah.
But as long as they're nominated at least and they give that
Now
kind of
they
like
will
recognition.
definitely. Okay, I mean, I guess if we want to expand on it a little bit for now, because most of it is going to be the Crunchyroll video. Okay, I don't want to
Yeah.
take away too much, but nomination wise, best fantasy award. I mean, that's a given,
Oh
I
yeah. That's
guess.
probably that's probably for sure probably gonna
And
be
do they
given.
still
Yeah.
have like best boy, best girl?
I think they
Frieren got
do.
a solid chance of winning best girl. Sure, we have something like what's her name, Ruby from Oshinoko, but she wasn't even that big in season one. It was more about Aqua, low key. And then you have, of course, yeah, Yor or
That's what I'm saying. Like
Anna
Anya probably
from,
gonna
yeah.
steal the show again.
I
Anya
mean,
will always be stealing the show.
we'll see. I don't know if Spy Family season two went or is as popular as season one, right? Like it's still very big, right? One of the most selling
Yeah.
manga still, and most watched anime. But I don't know. We'll see. I'll be glad if Frieren gets at least some recognition. Same with Pluto, right? Like these are some anime I just want to see win at least something, so it doesn't end up like Spider-Man 2 on the
No.
Game Awards. I mean,
No
come on,
way.
okay?
Oh
People
yeah.
people
And
be hating.
shout out Heavenly Delusion as well. Heavenly Delusion is
Oh
really, really
yes,
good.
yes. Heavenly Delusion is hopefully recency bias doesn't doesn't make it disappear from everyone's mind, because it was
Absolutely.
very good. Fuck.
Very, very well done.
Yeah, but as I said,
Good, very good year, good
this
year.
show, you have a character that's basically immortal. In my book, I fucking know how old she can get. If she's already 1,000 plus years, but she still looks like she isn't even 18, then I don't fucking know how old she can even become.
Yeah.
So in my books, she's basically immortal, and it's really an interesting concept, right? Like you're an immortal being. What would you do if you have to live like day by day, right? You won't be game ending yourself or anything. Like she has a goal of finding all like different types of magic. She wastes a lot of time, but then the show's really like, okay, you're immortal. You still should try to live your life to the fullest and experience as much as possible, right? Meet new people, because just because you're immortal doesn't mean that all interaction is dead to you now. That
Yeah.
you don't have to care anymore about anything, just because you're stronger than most or everyone, and all that. So interesting concept. It already got me from episode one. These episodes go by so fast. I was binging Frieren. Like I finished it in 2 days, and I was watching like I put on episode 10, and then I'm watching and the episode's already over. I'm like, oh shit, okay, episode 11. Like those episodes go by so fast.
And it's true. It's true.
Oh man, I mean, kind of same with Pluto. Even though Pluto had like 1 hour episodes, they still went by pretty fast. And
Blue
but
was just, I don't know. They were just cooking every episode. I ain't gonna hold you.
yeah, people might disagree, but in my opinion, last year was one of the strongest years for anime, low key.
Absolutely.
And we're going into one of the worst years for anime.
Oh,
Okay,
don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that. We
bro,
no, we have
bro.
so
I saw some video of a guy like hyping up the new shows that come out this year. Like, guys, My Hero Academia season 7, Demon Slayer season 4, fucking Solo Leveling,
See,
High School of the Elite. Bro, we
we're
have no guarantee
cooking.
that these shows will be good.
No, we do. MHA, MHA, yes
MHA
sir.
hasn't looked good since
No,
season 4. Season
don't
4
say
and
that.
everything else after was such a downgrade to season 3 and before.
No, no, trust.
Nah,
I
the
believe.
fall of the My Hero Academia fall off has to be studied. That shit is, is actually
They get
crazy.
that freaking goddamn blue sky. I can't stand them, bro. I can't
Don't
stand
tell
them.
that
I
to
don't know.
Paz, bro. He's gonna eat you alive.
You're right. Shout
Still,
out past.
still, make it stormy, guys. I saw a My Hero Academia edit where they made the sky like it was like some cool Shigaraki edit and shit, but they used a
Mm-hmm.
filter, and the filter made the sky like dark blue, like storm-like, and people in the comments are like, "Guys, this looks better than the trailer already."
Can't stand them, man. I can't stand it.
It it just makes sense. Nah, fuck. Nah, Frieren might get my vote. Not gonna lie. Like, I will be sitting there contemplating. Maybe I'll make like 5 accounts, right, and just vote for everything. Low key. I don't fucking know. I got
Nah,
it.
Crunchyroll will ban him now, bro. Don't not let him do some nonsense like
Man,
that.
no, I cannot decide. Like, if I don't want to. Like, I don't fucking know. Like for some reason, I got this. I feel like I'm downplaying JJK for no reason. Like, I like Vinland, like Frieren, but why don't I want to vote JJK? Like, it's something is I don't know. I don't know.
The JJA is good. I mean,
Yeah,
it's not like
I
it's not
know.
good,
Yeah, but for
but
some reason, I just want to vote for something else, and it's not like it's not even that
you
I
just want to be
dislike
different. You just want to
JJK.
be different.
Maybe
That's
it's
what it
maybe
is.
maybe maybe it's I don't know. Maybe I want to be different, or maybe those other shows just hit me more. I don't fucking know. Because Frieren and Vinland, got me sitting in front of my screen, like thinking about my life and shit. Okay,
I
I don't
feel it.
know. And JJK got me feeling about got me thinking about all those deaths in that arc and Yuji's fucking trauma. Holy shit.
Yuji, I don't know. That man about to become a villain very, very soon.
Nah, nah. He would have gave up and died if it wasn't for Todo. I'm digressing.
Oh heck, nah.
Nah, but yeah, this was the Frieren open window. I'll upload it as quickly as I can. Hopefully before the next episode. Whatever.
Yeah, we should have time for sure. It's not coming for like another week, I think.
Maybe. This not this I don't fucking know. Okay, I don't know how they work there. Yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. This has been, as I said, Open Window with Pen and Say Something Jazz.
Ah,
Okay, maybe not that. And
what the?
see you on the next episode of whatever. Maybe a draft. We'll see. We're still thinking
Oh
about what we
yeah.
want to do next. No promises, though. Peace.